Welcome everyone to this podcast that is called Beyond the Chemistry. This podcast is organized thanks to the ECC, and in this podcast we explore the people, the stories, and the opportunities behind the chemical distribution. In this series, we will speak with different people and leaders from across the sector in a way to explore how the industry is going, how it works, and how will be the future. But today, I am really excited to have here and two different guests, Frank Schneider, that brings deep experience from IMCD coating and construction side of the chemical distribution, and also Hadia, that is the CEO of Allchem, a technical solution partner that is very active across all the Levant, France, West Africa, and the Central Africa. So thank you very much to both of you, Frank and Hadia, to join our show. So it's really exciting for me to have you with us, so we can start with this short interview. And I don't know who would like to start, but my first question is how you ended up in the chemical distribution world.
Normally, Hadia, I would give always the lady
Oh, sure.
the first right.
I was expecting this from a gentleman such as you, Frank.
But if you prefer me
Me
to
too.
do it so that you can warm up during that, I can also do that. I'm totally open. No,
No,
you
it's
go ahead,
okay.
Hadia. You go ahead, Hadia.
It's okay.
You
It's
go.
okay.
You
It's okay. It's
go.
okay.
You go.
It's a very nice beginning. In fact, as a chemical engineer, I started my first final year project in distribution in Barcelona. Then I ended in my first job in a distribution company also in 3 different countries. So it was Spain, Lebanon, and France. And I found some missing links in technical know-how. So I said, why not try to build this new combination of technical expertise with the entrepreneurship and the distribution and selling the chemical product, but with the technical backup, and give solution to the client. And this is how I ended up in distribution.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh, okay. You make it now difficult for me because my story would be much longer. I studied
Yeah.
law, failed in my
We
exams.
have time.
I studied
Okay.
law, failed in my exams. Born in Ludwigshafen, which is the headquarter city of BASF. Returned to Ludwigshafen, that I had escaped for my studies, for my law studies, is returned to Ludwigshafen, asked them, save me, I have no job, I'm 26 years old. They gave me a commercial apprenticeship job, and this is what I did. I don't have an academic background at all. I'm not a chemical engineer. I have not even a bachelor degree, nothing. So they gave me this opportunity, and then I stayed for 11 years. After 10 years, they told me that they don't see any leadership potential in me. I was 36 by then, and I thought, okay, if they don't see it, I see it. We better part ways. I left, joined a small English adhesive company, sold adhesives, was driving around as a sales guy until they were taken over by an American company who said, we don't need you anymore. We don't need Germans with your experience. So please, you're out. 40 years old, 2 little kids. Friday, Saturday morning, I take the newspaper, January 2000. I find and I thought distribution was nothing for me when I was working in the chemical industry. I always thought that distribution is also minor thing, didn't want to have to do anything to do with it. And then I found a newspaper advertisement for IMCD Germany looking for somebody who takes over a 4 million euro coatings and construction business in Germany. Okay, I applied. They looked at my CV. They said, okay, BASF, that sounds good. Took me, gave me the job. 2 weeks later, I had a job. 25 years or 26 years, I stayed in this job. Started with 4 million turnover and 2 salespeople and 1 inside salesperson. And apparently it turned out quite well. Then afterwards, I was asked by the CEO to join the investment of, we were private equity. So that was my way into distribution. After 3 months, no, when I arrived there and saw my team, I thought, oh my God, I have to leave here. I need something else. This is not my job. But then my wife said, well, but we need money. You need to work. So please go ahead. So I stayed. That is the story all about distribution. Please, sorry about the length.
It seems like a movie.
It was.
Could be a movie.
It still is. It still is.
Okay. And what surprised you the most about this industry? The chemical industry and both the side, the distributor and the chemical one.
Hadia.
Shall I say, okay, what's surprised or what's interesting is that it's very much people-driven industry, because it's really built on long-term relationships, on trust from the clients, and local understanding of the markets. Those 3 points are very, very crucial to have, at least in the emerging markets where we are, Lebanon, Africa, West Africa, Central Africa. It is very important to be a reliable partner. This is really the human side of this business is super interesting.
For me, the best one.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, this was also the outcome of the conference panel discussion this week. It's about people, people, people. This will make the difference also in the future. But what surprised me is, first of all, I came there, it was small, and I thought, oh my God. And I was one of the salespeople there. So I was driving around and selling adhesive raw materials. And I thought, I was working for a blue chip chemical industry company. And now I'm working for a company that is begging for suppliers, because we were small at that time. And I was, to be totally honest, I was just trying to sell as I was used in the producing company. I was just trying to sell what I have. After 6 months, I noticed that there is a different trigger possible. You can enhance your portfolio, your supplier portfolio. And all of a sudden, I noticed this huge complexity that I had never expected. And I remember once there was a pitch with a company called Roman Haas, who today is part of Dow, and they asked me what scares you most and what excites you positively most about the job that you're doing. And I said, it's one word: complexity. And today I would add speed. Complexity surprised me, but it also then changed my approach to my job. And I played this complexity piano, and I really started to love it. Normally, this was something for female candidates. It's multitasking. Yeah, this is what I learned. You do much more than when you work in a production company. You have much more width of things that you are doing. Also geographically, all of a sudden you can make it global. You have unlimited possibilities, and that is something that I had never seen before in my business life.
Okay. And if you should, suggest to a young graduate to choose this industry and to choose a distributor, which will be the reason why he or she has to choose this? Your microphone.
You're mute.
To continue, to continue with what Frank was saying, if the young people would come, they will touch several areas. They will go into science because they need their technical knowledge for developing the formula, understanding the products they're going to sell. But then they will have to go commercial and discuss prices and communicate with the logistics team. And they will see that they are also with the end user, the producer of the paint or cosmetics or pharma or food. They can make a difference in what the daily life they have. You contribute to better coating paint in your rooms. You contribute to better feed, animal feed. You make it more better environmentally free, less chemicals. You help in the construction side to better heat the houses, for waterproofing things. You go into pharma and new technologies. So with your work, you are touching 3 areas. You are in the science, and you are doing the business, and you are impacting the world in which you live. With such a global area that you cannot get bored, and you're always learning day by day. Really, it's a super interesting domain to be in.
Yes, a very multifunctional job.
Really.
But that means as well, Mara, that I would not recommend it to every graduate. I'm a lecturer at the University of Cologne, at the chemical faculty in Cologne, for business in the chemical industry. And I see people there I would never recommend to join this business, because they are very much, they want to be in a lab function, they want to be in a research function, they even want to be in an application, technical application function. But what I very often miss, 80% of the students I see do not have enough openness in their mind to succeed and to have fun and to have really a pleasure in this job in distribution.
Maybe we need them, Frank, for the technical backup that we have internally. When you need those people, maybe not, then you will structure them in each domain, in each part of the company. So if one is really technical, you'll put him in the R&D, where he will be the interface between the salesperson and the technical development, for example.
I agree partially, but I still believe that there are people who would crack over the complex, as I come back to this complexity thing, over the complexity of this business. Even if you put them into a certain corner, and Mara, you know that we have in our company, my ex-company, your actual company, that there is a lot of positions where you can put them in a corner, but then they will, at one point, they will say, okay, but I don't understand the whole thing. I don't understand the whole context. So you need very open personalities, open-minded personalities.
Yes.
But then, if you have open-minded personalities, it's a dream job. I mean, it's for me, a dream came true in these 26 years with IMCD. So, and it still does.
Yes, I think the same, because I think that in this kind of company, in the distribution company, they are like a kind of machine moved by a lot of hands. So you have to be careful, and you have to be very aware about all the hands that are moving the entire machine. So flexible in this kind of way. Because we had the experience of an very technical person in our lab that came from a contract. But for him, it was very difficult. He left the company, but it was very difficult to enter in the mind of a distributor, because it's very different from a producer. So very, very different. And in your experience, what do you think that is the most exciting part of this job?
We covered that already. It's this vibe that you can, if you have the right management, and the companies we work with have this right management in place. If you have the right management in place, you can create a vibe that is absolutely unbeatable in a normal, let's say, chemical company. And this is, I think this vibe makes it very, very special, and for me, always very exciting.
You always have to come up with solutions, solving problems. Problem of a formula, problem of supply chain, problem of a price, problem of a human problem. So it's so interesting that you always have to overcome something. New regulations, you have to adapt. It's adaptability. Adapting is the most important part, and adapting grows your mind, it grows your personality.
Yes. And since you mentioned the price and the logistic problem and so on, how are you managing, or did you manage also in the past problem in the very difficult moment regarding the geopolitical, and also not geopolitical when we had COVID, it was not geopolitical, but in difficult situation?
Frank, I'll let you talk.
I remember.
will
I mean,
see.
this is
I will
a
see your
very good
idea.
Mara. This is a very good example. When the COVID crisis started, everybody, absolutely everybody, thought, okay, there are now existential problems ahead for me in my job, in my private life, whatever. I mean, and you had no idea how to cope with it. And I remember when we were sitting together then as an exco team in IMCD, but also with my local team in Germany and in the other countries that I had responsibility for. And I think the most important thing is you have to be flexible, speedy, and whatever in such a situation. Cool, stay cool first, and then analyze. What can we do? Don't panic. You have to, and as a manager, particularly when you are at the top of such a company, you have to make sure everybody, we will go through this all together. No one's left behind, and this is how we will manage this. And I have to say, and Mar, you still met him. Piet van der Slieke was the CEO in this period of time. I was in a senior position at IMCD at the time, and we did exactly this. We don't take money from anybody. We wait first because everybody was then crying out, and we do short-term work and whatever, and we take money from the government, and we reduce personnel. Cool. Let's see what really comes. And I have to say, this is what I try to do in every problematic situation. Yeah, when you had product shortages, all of a sudden, force majeure situations where customers were running into your doors. Cool. Try to cool things down first, analyze properly, and then act humble but firm. That is how I would describe how I would see it.
And without being frustrated about something you can't control. Because we also started before COVID, we had the financial crisis in Lebanon, and our headquarters are in Lebanon. So all of a sudden you sleep on a Friday and you wake up in the morning and they say you don't have access anymore to your bank accounts. You can't transfer to your suppliers. You can't get money in the bank. Your employees cannot get their salaries. What do you do? So in that moment, the manager of the company has to, as Frank said, you cool down, you take tu prends recul. I mean, you go back and you check on what's happening, and then slowly you should have, in a way, a few months earlier, you should have foreseen some things. So from our side, we foresaw those problems of transfer. So we opened in Europe. This is where I said adaptability or feeling of what's happening. You always have to check on what's happening around. Yeah. So we opened accounts outside Europe. So it happened, it was okay. But then you have to adapt how to get the monies, how to help your peers around you to get over this situation. Then came COVID. And during COVID also everything stopped. So which in a way helped us because the crisis that we had, the COVID helped us be quiet during this crisis. And then as managers, we have to find ideas what to do. And this is where us as Allchem, we opened the entities in Africa at that moment. We said the legal part takes time. So let me buy time, those 3-4 months doing nothing. Okay, you call lawyers, you speak. This is what I say, think outside the box, adapt. So we opened the entity in Abidjan, in Nigeria, in Ghana, while people are just, slowing down, and then you get over things, and well, this is how it goes. We have to adapt. You have to find solutions.
I think that it's most a lesson of life. This one that you have every time that happens something very bad or very strong, just take a breath, go outside and see everything like from the top and understand what is the better things to do.
And this means as well sometimes learn from other people. Yeah, I remember once I was in an earthquake area, and there was an earthquake at night, and I was with my children, and I was scared to death when the earth was in Australia in 2012, and my children just said, "Cool down, Daddy. Nothing will happen. It's all good. This is nothing." Okay, it happened a lot around us. But okay, so you learn. You also have to listen sometimes. Also engage teams. That is for me also a very important one. When you think, oh my God, what's happening here? Money, as you rightly said, Hadia. All of a sudden you have your bank. You could be hacked as well. Yeah. Cool down.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you are not able to cool down, consult others, involve your teams into this, and this is for me a very important one as well. It sounds great when I sit here and say, "Oh yeah, you have to be cool."
Exactly.
but
You can't be cool.
when you are in charge,
You have
it
to,
sometimes
exactly.
feels different. Yeah.
And then you have to take actions. Then you have to take actions
Yes,
afterwards.
yes.
So I let you, Mara, question us, but then you have many things to do.
And changing totally topic, in your opinion, what differentiates a top company, top level company from a normal one?
Wow.
People. It's people.
I agree with you, Frank. I totally agree with you. But
It's people. Look at when I saw your booth at In Cosmetics. I'm CD booth at In Cosmetics, and I left this company because I had my reasons not to stay. But I was so impressed how you engaged there as a team. I unfortunately did not meet you, Mara, there, but when I was there, I saw this team of people, and I saw this vibe of this, and I thought, oh my God, this makes a difference. And you see this. I saw this also in a smaller environment with your team, Hadia, as well. I think when you have this, when you come somewhere and you see this positive spirit and this how people are committed and this passion and the dedication, and you can feel that makes a difference of a company. And I think
the mentality. The mentality, Frank, because the mentality of the people should have this mentality, or at least the mentality of the whole spirit of the company should be this way.
Yeah.
Yes, I think exactly the same. But I think that if people work in this kind, in the distribution world, it is because they are so empathetic, so full of emotion. I mean, I think that it's a job not for everyone. Because
you remember,
reason.
Mara, when we had this session in Madrid last year?
Yes.
Very
well.
Where I
it's
said,
in my heart.
there was a Rising Leader event and with 25 young talents, Hadia, and I have to say, I said at the end of this, I'm not scared about this company, because when you have such a spirit among total international team of people, totally global, and they are so close to each other and so close linked, and I think this is at the end, and you have the same, Hadia. When I come to your people and I speak with them, I can feel this, and I think this makes a difference.
Yeah.
And I don't want to bash now other companies, but I know some companies who I don't get that same vibe. I would never work with and for them, and they will. And you see that they're not as successful as the ones that we have here on the screen.
I think that the world is made by people. So fortunately, we are still the best part, the most important part of this earth. And another topic that it's very cool and trendy now, I saw also read AI meeting notes. What do you think about the AI, and how can AI can help, but also cannot also not help, because could be create not so transparent way to approach of the company or the people and so on. I mean, how also what is the best way to use AI in a very intelligent way? I mean, one time I said to one of my colleagues that before AI, we need to have a human eye. So maybe if behind there is a human intelligence, could be also a good way to use the artificial one.
Yeah, human will stay here, I think. I think AI will help in, AI will help in efficiency, in time of work, in redundant work, being more accurate, opening, like, for example, in AI, in our company, we speak several languages, or we deal with several areas, several languages. And now I can see the team, they communicate with the Turkish in Turkish. They communicate, if they don't speak French, you see emails going in French. So it's tools that you should use to be more efficient, but yet you need the human expertise. You need the relationship. The real differentiator is the human factor. So it's using AI where it should.
And for you, Frank?
I always ask myself, when people talk about AI, or in German it's KI, künstliche Intelligenz, what does it mean? What is it? I mean, this is a buzzword, yeah, and everybody talks about it. I mean, for me, it's a huge pot, and that everything flows in there. Every information, every data, every single piece of stuff is put into this big pot, and then everybody can choose a window and say, okay, I would like to know, can you tell me something? And then AI gets all this information together. So the way you can gather information has become much easier. To be honest, first time ever in my life, because I was desperate. I was asked for this conference this week to talk about chemical distribution in 2041. Now, my first reflex was I will be 82 by then, yeah? I will be 2041. Said I will be 82 by then. I'm not really sure whether I'm interested in chemical distribution anymore. But I had no idea what to do. So my daughter said to me, just go on ChatGPT, ask them. 5 slides, presentation, chemical distribution in 2041. Wow. Now it gathers everything that has been ever entered into ChatGPT or has been gathered by ChatGPT is all of a sudden condensed. 10 seconds later, I had 5 slides. They don't make you a nice PowerPoint. You have to do that yourself.
Yes, it's true.
But it's awful. I mean, they say maybe make you a McKinsey thing, and it's absolutely stupid what you get out of it. But the content was absolutely fun. And then you say, okay, for me it's too dry. Can you make it a bit more fancy? And then you get the fancy part. So, as I said, you can attract a lot of things, and this is the same for the mechanisms of your business. It gives you the best ways because it makes it takes 10 options and then it chooses the best one for the specific question. I think this is for me the explanation of AI, and I think this is what will help. It will also help to control robots. Yeah, you will have robots. It will happen. You will have that in your warehouse, Hadia. You will have that in production. You will have that so you will have that. There will be things that will be replaced by bots rather than by real people, real persons, real human beings. But at the end of the day, I don't believe, and I hope that we're not completely taken over by these bots, but that we can still control it. And then you need a lot of people who control it. And again, we would not have this among bots because it wouldn't work. You would not want to sit Frank bot sitting here or Hadia bot sitting here. You want to have somebody you can get this social intelligence as well, and this social. So that's how I would see AI. Great to make it more efficient, life faster, quicker in many things, but it doesn't make it more exciting.
So I think that the people centricity, it's a kind of protagonist of everything.
I remain firm here.
Me too.
It's crucial.
Yes. And discussing about something.
And there's one important thing. We don't believe that, yeah. But I always say that people proved in the last millions of years that they can exist without electricity.
It's true.
AI cannot exist without electricity. So one day you don't have any energy anymore, no electricity anymore. We will still continue to survive. We will build. We will still hunt then and feed ourselves. But bots will not.
But you will build batteries and have solar energy and do an AI again. So
this is the generations ahead, yeah.
And about something that could be funny, what do you think that it's one of the myths that is related to our job? I mean, I don't know if someone say, you are working in a distributor, but it's totally not true.
Oh, I have not come that far in your script.
I stopped. Wait. I didn't hear you, Mara.
This is now a surprising question for me.
No, it was just one myth about the chemical distribution. I mean, what is the reality and what the people think about?
Oof. They think it's selling.
In
products,
my opinion, yes. In my opinion, is that when I said that I'm working for a multinational company, everybody told me, "Oh, so you are so rich," but I'm not so rich. for money.
Rich.
So
Okay,
yes.
okay, okay. We will not comment on this part.
No, comment. Okay.
So Frank, you are rich.
No, no. I am just a. I would just say we have made, all of us can make a nice living, and that is very important. And richness for me, they also would not really be very important. It's important that you can feed and entertain your family, and that's very important. And I think you can do that in this industry. But I think what comes first when you talk to somebody, they say, okay, you're dealing with things coming back and forth. They don't, when you tell them that you have technical people, that you are working in formulations today, I think people are still stuck in a very old perception of what distribution is. And what it's not a myth, but it's something that is still in many heads. It's necessary evil. You need it, but you don't want it because it only adds cost. This is something that I heard very often. Why should we work with a distributor? You get a margin, but you don't offer any advantages. I think we have proved in the past decades that we can do more than just be an obsolete middleman in between. I mean, we have a value to offer, and I think this is the most important one.
Yes, you are, especially in our markets, in our emerging markets. They don't know how to do forecasting. They don't know how to concentrate on purchasing. So you are their purchasing arm. You are the forecasting for them. You are their technical innovation person getting this to them. And from the other side, from the supplier side, you are their eyes on the market every day. They can't follow the market deeply alone. They are concentrated on giving good product. They concentrate on big clients. But whenever you go to middle-sized clients where you have innovation, which goes to the people, they need help. I mean, they need more. Yeah, they need persons to concentrate on the logistics. The logistics side is so difficult, so complex from country to another.
Yeah.
So they have to
regulatory.
Work with
You add regulatory.
Yeah,
I mean, it's everything. At the end of the day, you are you introduced Hadia as such, Mara, a solution provider, and not only a technical solution provider. You're a solution provider. You offer solutions to everybody. And I think the myth is you're just in between for no specific reason, and you're just making some money out of it. This is what people believe when they are not in this business.
Yeah, and the right word, I think it's a nice word, solution engineering, because you are putting all those things together. That's.
I have a question that it was not in the script, but it was also my curiosity. Do you think that it's important, the customer centricity, but do you think in Italy we should say the customer has always said always that is true, has always a good reason, okay? Do you think that it's true? This is just my question. Do you think that is true? And how it is important for you, the customer centricity? Because sometimes, and it was just because I mean, we saw in the chemical distribution world, it seems that sometimes the customer should be in the center of, but it's not the reality. So, what do you think about this? And I mean, what is your experience about?
I often say that we should take psychology courses because you have to adapt to the client. Okay, the client, he's the main point. Okay, it doesn't mean that he's right, but you have to go along with him to teach or explain to him that he's right, but he could do it in another way. And depending on the day you're talking to him, if it's a Monday, if it's a Friday, if it's on a holiday, so the client is the key part for, I mean, as long as I am concerned, as far as I'm concerned, the most important part. But adapting to him and teaching him or letting him move the way it should, this is our job.
So trust. First things, trust.
Trust is the most, that's why the long-term relationship and the trust is the most important thing. This is the most important, so that the client listens to you. And you're here to give him hints of what's happening. If you're speaking of geopolitical problems, then you say, oh, listen, the material might have higher prices, disruption in logistics. So you have to tell him. He might say, no, what you say is not right. I said, okay, but at least you're telling him. He is the center of our business.
Frank?
After a year in chemical distribution at IMCD, I changed my total perception in terms of clients or customers. Because for me, whatever we do, we serve a customer. Our principals, the people that entrust us their business, they outsource, and we offer them the service that they can outsource their sales, their marketing, their technical support to us. So for me, a principal is, I consider also a BASF as a customer of the service that a distributor is offering. And we are in a sandwich, because then you have the customer who you want to offer your product to, which again comes not from yourself, but from somebody else, but you also offer your services. So you have this multi-level and in two directions and two dimensions customer thing. And yes, they are right. They are right, and this is what I always. I mean, I learned a lot from our previous CEO or former CEO Piet van der Slik, who always said to me, Frank. I remember once we were sitting at Wacker Chemie, and I was and they were proposing something, and I was totally against it, and I said, no, we can't deliver this. And after that meeting, it was in my first year, Piet van der Slik summoned me, and he said to me, Frank, never do that again. You always tell them we do everything they want. Whether we do it or not, that is something that we will then decide afterwards, how we cope with it. But the first thing is, if they believe it is right, then for us it has to be right at first, and then we develop something. And the same with the customer. You supply a product or service, and then they say, no, that we don't like this formulation. We need something else. You don't have that in your portfolio. Don't convince them that they're wrong. Tell them you're right, but maybe we can nevertheless offer you an alternative to it. So here, I think you have to be much more humble, because that is the result of your customers are always right, means you need to be super humble in talking to them and to never say no. Asians have an advantage here.
So we should be more solution finders for both sides.
We are solution finders. This is why we exist. This is the DNA of a distributor.
And my last question, it was just if you have to convince a young person to approach the chemical distribution world in 30 seconds, what will you say?
If you are curious, ambitious, you want to make a difference, then come to a distributor.
I have nothing to add. Here I have to say the lady is 100% right, and I agree to 100%. Yes. I mean, okay. I mean, whatever you do, and if I had these 30 seconds, I would do it with the biggest smile I have in my face, and I would do it as we are talking right now, and I would do it with the same spirit that I met with Hadia and with which I met also with you, Mara, and with many other people, in particularly this industry. Do it with a smile and do it with passion, and then no matter what you tell them, they will join you.
Great, I agree 100%.
So, we hope that we will convince someone with this young program organized by the FECC and with this podcast.
We are.
So to attract new young people. No, thank you too very much to participate to this first episode. Thank you very much for this quick chat. And I think that sometimes, or if I think to me 12 years ago or 15 years ago, it was, and it should be very interesting for me, speak with people that are in the industry, because if I have to answer to the first question, I am in this world totally for case. I mean, it was destiny, because I didn't choose exactly a distributor. I discovered when I was in an exhibition, because I was in the lab, I discovered that I had this kind of passion about stay with people and and I mean, talk with people. So I have to learn a lot of things, but yes, for me it was the best decision for sure.
Super. Passion in what we do is the most
Yes,
important.
yes. So thank you very much again.
We thank you for
Mara.
this
Thank you,
invitation,
Frank.
Mara. It was cool. Thank you.
Really.
Really great.
And
Hadia.
see you soon.
Hadia, you were. Hadia told me that's her first podcast and she has never done it before.
Me too.
You are perfect.
Okay.
You're both
Yes,
perfect in it.
Hadia, yes. And when they asked me what you would like to create to promote, I thought to this kind of video podcast, very short interview with someone from the industries that can help. And for me, this part it's very exciting.
When we had the COVID situation, we said, so how do we overcome now a bit the boring times when you were not traveling anymore? So, Mara, for your information, IMCD started a podcast series about and it was a podcast of the industrial part of the company, and it was with Marco Madedu, who was a business group director at Lubricants at the time, Fikri Alemdaroglu, Olivier Champeau, and Frank Schneider. So we did a forecast, the four of us, and we did a series out of that with different items. You can still find it on YouTube. And then we said afterwards, when COVID was over, and we did it because it was all virtual at the time. And then we said it started with this video stuff, and said, okay, let's really continue this also later on. We never did it because then the reality caught us again, and we were traveling, and all was over. But think about it. I think it is.
But also
this industry can have. There is space in this industry for a podcast.
Yes, I think the same. And I think also that if we should attract more young people, this is probably one of the best way.
By the one, somebody who is really doing it, who has started this kind of podcast sessions last year, is Natasha Klinchuk. She's on LinkedIn. Her podcasts appear on LinkedIn as well. And Natasha is a headhunter. She's an executive search headhunter, but she does a specialty chemicals podcast, and she interviews always. She did Marcus Jordan, for example, or she did David Jukes. It was
okay, so it's the one that I saw. Yes, I saw.
That's Natasha. Yeah, and I think there's space for that. Think about it. You're good. You're good.
Thank you very much. Every time you infuse me a lot of energy. Okay, thank you again. And since it's Friday, have a nice weekend.
Hadia, hope to see you soon.
Yeah,
Bye.
see you, Frank.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.